Yeah. Thank you for your time very much. Okay. Interesting. So, yeah, there's some serious issues that are pending against the city and affecting all the keys. I want to touch on a couple of quick things while we're here that went over in the meeting, and I'm not going to take a whole lot of your time. One is about the market. Okay, we've talked about this a few times, and we all know. What does that mean?
Fear, uncertainty. Yeah. No.
Doom. No.
Doubt.
Thank you. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Right? You can make money in an up market. You can make money in a down market. You can even make money in a flat market. It's hard to make money in a FUD market. Okay? When FUD market means everybody kind of stops. Right? Everybody just kind of like, I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to just cool my heels until things change. And are buyers thinking that right now?
Yeah.
Are sellers thinking that right now?
Yeah.
Right? Okay. I mean, if they weren't, we'd have 2,400 properties on the market, wouldn't we? Right? We wouldn't have 1,400 or 1,300. We're only going up by 12 or 9 or something like that, right? So how do we address that? One is you have to look at what's being said in the public, right? In the news. What's the majority of the message in the news right now?
Housing crisis, recession.
Say it louder.
Housing crisis, recession.
Yes, everybody agree? Right? So doom. No.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, but what's the reality? It's what?
It's normal in quotation marks, but it's trying to normalize itself from past having record highs in the past 2 years.
Right. Is it
Trying to
normal?
bring it back to
Undetermined.
should be. Yeah.
Say that again, Chase.
Undetermined.
Undetermined. Okay. Anybody else have any thoughts on the reality of the market? What's the reality of the market? I'm not comparing, just want to just hear where your head is at. How many people think the market's going to go up by the end of the year? Rick? How many people think the market's going to go down? Show our hands. Was that just a bug, Pam, or was it?
I suspect that the average sales price will probably go up from now to a year in the future, probably about 5-6%.
Okay.
I project that the number of sales will probably continue to decrease for the next 6 months. How much you put down?
Yeah, right.
What are the
I'll talk you down on that one.
10 to 1 odds.
But what makes you think it's gonna go up when there's not that buyer frenzy anymore? Well, you're not getting multiple offers anymore.
You're not, but your supply is still low.
Right.
Like your
Hold on, stop right there.
Sorry.
Nope, that's perfect.
No way to go, Natalie, teacher's pet.
She brought up an apple earlier.
She did.
Totally did.
Macroeconomics 101. Supply versus demand, right? Is there a big supply of homes here?
No.
Do we expect to be a large supply of homes by the end of the year? Are there homes that go on the market now that still sell in less than a week? Right? What's happening with the homes that are sitting on the market that haven't sold? What's the reason? What's the real?
Price. They're
Right?
lowering and lowering and lowering.
Were they overpriced to begin with? Right? So they were shooting for the moon, right? And then the moon crashed on them. So it's the prices that we're seeing coming down. The majority of them, not all, majority of them are because the homes were overpriced to begin with. And then you're always going to have those homes that are just white elephants, right? They're that kind of issue. But the majority of decline in asking price that we're seeing right now is because of overpricing to begin with. Homes that are priced within the market tend to still sell within a good amount of time, right? In a short period of time. We have been so accustomed to what a normal market is that our perspective is skewed. Go back 10 years, 10 years, right? 22, 20, 20, maybe 20 years. Let's go. Wow, I'm getting old. So, 2002, 2012, in that period of time, what was the average market time on a house?
150 is about 6 months.
About 6 months, right? Before the 2000s and the 90s, how long did a house sit on the market? About a year, 8 months, a year, right? Then if we go back further, 2 years, right? Most people who put their house on the market thought that, well, I got a year. And that was our norm. So now we're looking at, oh my God, the house didn't sell in 30 days. Something's wrong, right? And that's not the case. Okay, the case is, yeah, market shift. So if you look at, there was a meeting that was held in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Most people don't know about it, but it was a Fed meeting with all the bankers and investment firms and stuff like that. And Chairman Powell, who's the head of the Fed, Federal Reserve Bank, gave a speech, and it was clear indication that they are going to continue to raise the base rate, right? My money is on September 13th. You will see a 3/4 point raise. Okay, that's what I'm betting. So is that going to affect buyers? Yes, it's going to affect mortgage rates, credit card rates, car loans, everything any kind of money that you borrow. It's also going to help boost, interest rates on savings accounts. It's going to boost interest rates on CDs and things of that nature. So there is an offset, but this is normal. When mortgage rates first hit 5%, I was like, wow, that's awesome. Because I still remember when it was 18%, right? But if we adjust our perspective, then we are actually in a good market. So Zillow, let's talk about Zillow real quick. How many of you use Zillow, like are a part of it? Using Zillow? Okay. Nothing wrong with it. Okay. It's a good lead generator in that sense. All right. However, let's be realistic on what is his estimate. All right. Over the last 12 to 18 months, what did Zillow prove about its own pricing model? Does anybody know? What?
They're only good for pictures. That's what I tell everybody.
But how?
That they couldn't sell for profit. Yeah,
Right. Zillow used its own pricing model, all right, to purchase homes and indicating future value. What happened to that? Right. So Zillow proved that their own pricing model is incorrect. Right. It is not sustainable as an investment or to make a buying decision. Right. So we know from that we have to take that with a grain of salt. So I look at, what is Zillow saying? What is the NAR saying? What is the Fed saying? What are the investment firms saying? What is the bank saying? What are all the Case Shiller and all them? What's Robert Shiller saying? Okay. I watched that. What's Michael Burry saying? Right? Who's Michael Burry? Anybody know? He predicted the crash of 2008, like a year in advance, right? So these are the, I look at what these people are saying, and then you take an amalgamation of that, and chances are that's what's going to happen. So according to Zillow, they think prices here are going to go up over 5%, one of the highest in the country, and will continue to do so into 2023. Is that realistic? I don't know. There's a difference, though. Let me explain to you about pricing, and this is where things get skewed. There is two different prices, and I know I've said this before. There's two different prices. on a house. When prices go up and prices go down, there is the reality, right? And then there is the inflationary. And it doesn't matter whether inflation's up or down, okay? If home prices went up 10%, if they go up 10%, and inflation just, is 5%, what's the actual loss on the property? What is the actual price loss on the property? If inflation went up 5%, but home prices went up 10%, is there a loss?
No,
Home prices actually went up in reality 5%, correct? Okay, same is true on the other side. If inflation is, if home prices go down 5% and inflation is up 5%, what's the situation there?
Lost 10%.
You've lost 10%, correct? Right? So there is what's the real price of the house? Okay, and what's the inflationary price of the house? And this has been tracked for years, since 1902. For the first time, or actually, I'm sorry, second time. First time was in 2008. Second time, these lines are now crossing, right? Typically, the inflationary price on the house stayed above. So there was a saying, home prices rise with inflation, right? Home prices rise with inflation. Construction costs, this, that, the other thing. So now for the first time, what we're having is inflation, home prices are rising above inflation. This needs to correct. It's not normal, right? Home prices should rise with inflation, not above it. So this needs to correct. So there are a lot of different things, there are different factors that are involved. And bottom line is supply versus demand, number one. Number two, the mental state of the buyer and the seller. What do they think? How do we know? Because we ask. Do you think the price is going to go? Do you think values are going to go up? Do you think values are going to go down? Or do you think values are going to go flat? If I know the buyer's or the seller's state of mind, I know how to answer them. I can work with them. Oh, I think the prices are going to go up. Oh, I think it's going to crash. Oh, I think it's going to go flat. Right? What's the difference? The truth is there is none. The only thing I'm looking at is this guy a doomsday scenario person? Oh yeah, prices are going to go down 50%. I might not want to work with that buyer because chances of him getting on a contract, are probably not likely. But if he thinks prices are going to go down 10%, maybe even 20%, okay, I can work with that because eventually the market's going to meet him at some point. Even if it goes down 20%, we're still ahead of where we were 2 years ago, right? So, and that's not going to happen. This is not a crash, okay? This is a pillow fall, is what it is. If they think prices are going to go up, can I work with that person? Sure. Historically, do prices go up? So if you're buying a house, my personal opinion, you're buying a house and I was going to buy it, I am expecting to hold that house for 7 to 10 years. Minimum. Not looking to make a quick flip. 7 to 10 years, market will correct, prices will go up, things will continue on as they were. The difference between 1932 and 2008 and 1972, when we went off the gold standard and stuff like that, and inflation went crazy in the 70s, is the Fed now has the ability to print as much money as they want. Okay, and they can print us out of any problem that can occur. Okay, so Chairman Powell's got that machine. You've seen that meme. There's a meme of him doing the paper machine and the dollar bills coming out. So understand that that's the reality. All right. The market is most likely going to be a pillow soft landing. We need to correct. As I expect, inventory will go up. Okay, it will after we have midterm elections coming up. Then we're right into that presidential election cycle. right? And what do people typically do before a presidential election? Nothing, right? They do nothing. So it's 2023 can be good, right? And there's still going to be business out there. I want prices to come down. I do, because we have to have some affordability. We're having a labor problem. None of you asked about that. How are we going to address the labor problem here? How long does it take you to get an AC guy to go to a house?
I got a guy.
I know, I'm like.
It doesn't count if you marry them, okay? So, but you see where most people are having a hard time, right? Can't get, or you're paying through the yin yang, right? You're paying top dollar to get a contractor or somebody to clean a house.
With interest rates going up, it's only gonna be harder too. It just makes it harder for people to get into that first house.
There you go.
Especially down here.
So we need an adjustment. But you know what? When interest rates were 18%, people still bought houses. People still sold houses. Maybe not as many of them, but they did. And one of the great things about the FUD market, when all this is going on and people, there's fear, uncertainty, and doubt, is this is when you grab market share. If you have a war chest, who asked? Oh, that's right. So somebody said didn't know what a war chest was. So a war chest is funds that you put aside for these times. So you have two war chests. You have your money that you save for your emergency fund, personal life, and the war chest is for your business. And the war chest says, this is the time that we start using that money. This is when we start going after market share. This is when we start taking over communities and expanding our presence, right? That's a war chest. So this is the time in fear, uncertainty, and doubt. This is the time to expand your market share, because agents will drop out. Agents will fall off. Agents will disappear. They will move away. They will retire. They will, this is when they decide to do it. Well, I think the end is near, so I'm going to, just go and do what I got to do. I'm seeing it happen. We're seeing it happen here. Okay. So I want to see you guys step up and do what you need. And if you need help with that, please talk to me, because I can help you with that strategy. Now, that being said, it doesn't mean that if you're happy with where you're at, that's okay too. That's okay too.